Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to season 13, episode 42, overall 702 of Live with CDP, Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph, Ottawa. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family-run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and they have been a part of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show for the past 3.5 years. Good afternoon, everybody, on this Friday, May 1st, 2026. It doesn't feel like May 1st here. It's still a little chilly here in Southern Ontario, and I'm looking forward to my guest today. This is going to be her second appearance. Her first appearance was on last August 2025 with Kirsty Krause, who was recently on my show again recently, and she's a very talented Nashville country music recording artist and songwriter, and she has a new album coming out on May 31st. Which is at the end of this month, called Roots, the Americana album. And I'm excited to have, her name is Ariel Jade, and we're going to bring her on right now to talk about her new album and some of her latest singles, as well as maybe her experience being at a hockey game in Nashville recently too, as well. Good afternoon.
I am excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much. And it's the guests that make a great show. And congratulations on your new album, Roots, coming out. And by the way, that name means a lot here in Canada because they have a clothing line called Roots Canada. And I think that's a great name. And congratulations on another album and some of your recent singles, too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Roots, for me, I was born and raised in Mississippi. I'm obviously based in Nashville now, but the name of the album definitely came from my Mississippi roots. Got some Mississippi blues in with that traditional country and a little touch of Southern rock. I also grew up playing bluegrass and grassroots music, hence kind of the name. So yeah, I'm excited for everyone to get to hear it.
Who is behind the graphics and the design of it, of the logo on your album?
So I actually worked with, I have a creative counterpart. His name's Sir the Baptist. He actually has a few Grammys in gospel roots production. And then my friend Mara was the photographer for that shot. So we actually, it's funny, you want to hear the story behind this cover art?
Yes.
So I have my film and songwriting studio in RCA Victor Studios on Music Row in Nashville. And what is the wall that you see behind me is actually my front area rug. We pinned it up on the wall to give like a kind of cool backdrop. And just I sat on like a little stool chair in front of a rug hung up on a wall. You use what you got to be creative in the ways that you want it to come out. And it's funny. It's like a movie set or whatever, it's, if you walked in and seen the whole scene, you would have been like, what's going on here? You're hanging a rug on the wall. That's not where that goes. But it turned out really cool. And then Sir the Baptist and I sat down and kind of designed out the logo for it and included my brand colors, like pink and blue and purple, but then kind of toned them down so that they felt more vintage and retro. So yeah, it was fun to make.
How many songs on this album coming up?
There are 8. 2 of them are there. It's all radio friendly in terms of content, but the last 2 songs are almost 5 minutes long or over 5 minutes. So they weren't, those were more geared to uh going on the vinyl and having people, listen to them. And I haven't really I won't be pushing those 2 to radio as much, being 5-minute songs. You know how this works. You get about 3.5 minutes, and then they start to look at you funny, like, come on now. So, but yeah, there's eight songs with like about a 30-minute runtime on the album. So
That's congratulations. Now, how difficult was it to select which 8 songs? And obviously a couple you didn't want to take because of the 5 minutes, because radio likes what, 2.5, 3 minutes?
yeah, no more than 3.5. They like right around 3. 3 minutes is your sweet spot for radio for sure. But I co-produced every song on the album. Choosing the songs actually was fairly difficult because I've just been writing so much over the past year. And I think I registered an additional 50 songs last year alone, and then I could only pick 8 to go on the album. So I already technically have my next project planned out. We'll see if they actually all make the cut by the time I get around to recording again, because I'm still writing. I'm going to a writing session after this, and then I have another writing session on Monday. So that is the beauty of being independent, though, and being a songwriter and getting to collaborate with all of these crazy good writers. Wood Newton, Brent Loper, Rafe Van Hoy, John Salloway, like all of these guys write amazing songs. Some of them have some very notable cuts, like Wood Newton's my Nashville mentor. And he has cuts he wrote Bobby Sue, the Oak Ridge Boys. He wrote 20 Years Ago. Kenny Rogers cut that one. Writing with Private Malone, David Ball. So I'm getting to write with all of these just extremely talented people, which does make the selection process harder, because I feel like almost every song that I've written with them is worth recording and putting out. So it's like, okay, what fits the project best to you? And theming into like my roots and trying to show the different roots, the melting pot that has created my sonic identity and my musical identity. It's all of it, from the old classic country, Loretta, Willie, Waylon, Dolly, to Mississippi blues. Actually, the first song on the album is called Down in the Delta, and you listen to it, and it is very specifically kind of who all influenced me. B.B. King, Jerry Reed, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, like Leonard Skinner. There's a lot of influences that I mention by name in that first song, and I feel like it kind of sets the tone for the theme of the album. So the selection process was very difficult, but I think we got a good set. I'm excited.
By the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of my guests that was on my show 2 weeks ago. Her name's Bellamy Bentley. She is a gospel singer in Toronto, and she was an R&B singer, and she has such God-given ability. And I'm just hoping somebody out there will pick her up, because she's got the ultimate voice. And as every guest I have on here, an amazing story, and I have so much respect for musicians as well, and a lot of them have great stories why they got into it, and how it helps them to get through tough times.
Oh yeah, songwriting is therapy. Playing music is healing. I agree that it definitely helps us get through all that life throws at us. For some people, that's going on a run, going on a hike, going camping, getting out in nature. For others, it's reading a book, writing journaling, writing poetry. For some other people, it could be painting or drawing or sketching. For other people, it could be just losing yourself in some films and, relating to characters and healing through their healing. But for songwriters, it's definitely pouring our heart and soul out via lyrics to then not only pour it out, but then to turn around and share it with the world. We're like, here, have my diary, basically. That's what it feels like when I share music. So yeah.
Ariel, I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Do you find there's more and more artists going independent these days? And
Oh yeah.
are you getting a lot of media requests too for your new album coming out at the end of the month?
Yes, and yes. This is we are at which the past couple of decades, few decades at this point, really ever since the internet and streaming and Napster, there's been a huge shift in the industry. And with technology growing as fast as it is, AI, all of this stuff, the industry is constantly changing. And also with the access of that we have to DIY things, right? You can distribute yourself, you can promote on social media, you can make your own music videos, even if it's just like a little camera and you get a friend and you go play it and it tells your story. You put that on YouTube. There's so many ways to attack this as an independent now. So that's the silver lining of all of the changes in the industry. I think the industry overall now is still trying to figure out how what works best, right? Like what is ethical, what actually pays the artist, how do you make a living off of it? Whereas like with major labels, and this is so I'm building my own label called Eclectric Records, which this album will be out under that label, based out of RCA Victor Studios on Music Row. I've got the cast on this album is insane, and they will all be working with my record label as well. So I've got a couple of Grammy award winning producers, all-star cast in terms of the studio musicians I'm able to bring in and record with. And if you have the motivation and you have the community, I think doing it independently is honestly the best way to set yourself up for long-term success, because a lot of when you sign with a major label, you basically just take a loan out on your future earnings. And a lot of the way that those contracts are structured, there have been plenty of artists. I mean, look at even back a couple decades ago, TLC, the girl group, had won a Grammy, sold over a million copies, and were broke because the major labels, the way that those things are structured is it's basically a loan out on yourself, but then the artist is also responsible for a lot of cost out of pocket, which ultimately leaves you with less than minimum wage. So people say, oh, I just want the major deal. I turned Sony down when I was 14. And I'm glad I did. Very glad I did. And it's not to say I wouldn't work with them on some partnered level at some point, but I would never give away the control and ability to decide where I want to invest and what I want to invest in when it comes to my music. So I am wholeheartedly for all artists DIY, being independent. I mean, we have the access now, so, and then as long as you treat it as a business, you can be more successful as an independent artist monetarily than you can if you sign to a major. Now, you sign to a major, of course, they're going to dump a bunch of budget into you and put you on P1 stations. They're going to put you on television shows. They're going to put you on Kelly Clarkson's talk show. They're going to put you on, you know what I mean? They're going to get you in front of an audience. But if you're creating good content and you are engaging with your audience online, you can make more money doing that. I actually removed all of my music from Spotify last year. And the month that I removed my stuff from Spotify, I had over 100 sales on iTunes. I made more money in that month with my music off of Spotify than I did for the year and a half I had music on Spotify. And that's over 150,000 streams. It wasn't like it was just 1,000 or 2,000 streams. It took over 100,000 streams to make $100.
Wow.
So direct to fan, selling physical merch, going on tour. Yes, I do offer my music on all of the streaming services because I do want it accessible. But to push my fan base to be like, guys, it's not going to be available on Spotify. You're actually going to have to go find it if you want to listen to it. People say, I'll shoot you in the foot, but I've actually made so much more money than I did otherwise. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong in the long run, but that's what I'm doing now.
And I'm learning that side of the media industry. When I first started this, being self-taught, the first couple years, I did a lot of things for free to get experience and stuff and connections. And now it's like, I'm a business and I have to start charging for my media work. So it's a business side of it too. And I wanted to get your thoughts, Ariel. I've asked some musicians in Canada too, who are independent like yourself. And I wanted to get your thoughts. Do you feel the independent artists should get a union, or you feel that would be a bad idea?
I think if it's done with the right group of people and with good intentions, it could be very helpful. I think that anything can be twisted. There's always power in numbers, and that can either be used for good or for bad. So I think it really does depend on how it's structured.
Do you find creativity in the music industry is shrinking due to AI?
Ooh. No. Yes and no. I think that those of us that are true artists, that's not too okay. So AI has made this a level of creativity more accessible. So like, you don't know how to play guitar, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. Using that as a tool to form and shape. This is where a lot of people, I'll either make friends here or people will hate me. I think using it as a tool, and as in demo work, I think that is completely ethical and fine. Yeah, you are cutting out demo work. You're cutting out money going into musicians' pockets that literally feed their families because of studio demos. But just like the same when DAWs, which is a digital audio workstation. Okay, so your Logic, your Pro Tools, your Ableton, we have these samples now. They have sample packs, and so they're able to pull in a drum sample or a piano sample or whatever, and they're already not booking those people anymore. So this is just the change of technology, and this is that next step. It's another tool. Now, how do you use that tool ethically? I think for me personally, and again, this is where I'll either make friends or enemies, and take it as you will. I think that as a tool, as a pitching mechanism, as a demo mechanism, as a planning and storyboarding mechanism, as a proof of concept mechanism, go for it. It's great. But I do not personally agree with replacing human musicians within what's going to be your final product. So, and I honestly, I haven't even downloaded Suno. I have some friends that use it. Until I know exactly how they're going to train off of my voice, I do not want my voice uploaded to Suno. I don't want it uploaded to anything until they have all of those parameters set. So I know exactly what my protections are, and that I will be protected, because I've already seen horror stories of artists getting stuff ripped from the internet, and then some person creates a very similar artist, basically a ripoff, and uploads their stuff and then releases the music because it's all AI and you can fast track it. Boom, boom, boom. You made it in a day. It's not as good. It's too perfect on vocals for me, but they'll get it out. And then the original artist is getting copyright pinged on their own music that some AI generated whatever got to put out before them. So I think there's a lot of problem here. I know that they're actively kind of working through all of this, but there's still the problem of theft of art and IP that is very big right now. And I mean, you always have a level of we don't know what's going on. We don't know how to, what parameters we set. How does it protect people without choking out the new tech, right? Because technology, as it advances, truly what it should do is give us more space to be truly creative and focus on the stories being told and the experiences being shared, because I think that that's what makes music special. It's the soul involved. It's the human experience involved. So I think yes and no. Going back to your original question, is it choking out creativity? Is it getting worse or better? I think that people that aren't creative in the way of this is something that they have dedicated their life to. They're like, ooh, I can push a button and pull my ideas to life. Yes. And I think that's great if you're going to follow that up with actually creating human-made art. I feel like AI is a tool, and it's not, but these tools aren't meant to replace what gives us the sharing of experience in a creative way. I feel like it should do all of the kind of busy work and stuff for us, maybe even giving us a demo to then take it to the musicians that have their own personality. I saw this. They did a study over in the UK. 88% of listeners could not identify AI versus human music, which is insane.
Wow.
Insane. If you're a musician, if you're a producer, and if you truly listen to a lot of music and consume a lot of music and you pay attention, you can tell. I can tell immediately. I can tell within 5 seconds if it's AI or not, for the most part. I have been tricked a little longer on some things, but I can always still tell. It's just, there's something unnatural about it. And that's me growing up, feeling the sound waves, earning the calluses on my hands, learning 4 different instruments, singing it actually, and having my personality, my vocal style that isn't perfect, so I can tell. I can always tell. I think that it's opening the doors for more creativity to a broader audience that has not actually amassed the skill to do so organically. So I think that you do have a subset of people that would never actually put the time and effort into learning an instrument and dedication that it takes. And so they are able to creatively express themselves through AI. But I don't think that what they are outputting can compare to human art at all. And I don't think it ever will. Because for me, music and art comes from the soul. And this brings in a whole different deep ethical discussion. But I don't think AI can ever have and achieve soul. It can rip off of human experience, just like, if you grow up and you only imitate, you never become yourself. You never create anything truly yours. That is AI in a nutshell. It's just mimicry. And we do this as humans, but because of our individualized, lived and learned experiences, if you put that into it, you are inserting part of your soul into the music. And I think that the humanity within that is what makes art so special. And if we take that away, also with AI, this is crazy. I've looked into seed language. I've looked into, because I do utilize AI for like creating business plans, drafting contracts for my artists to then turn around and send to an entertainment lawyer to actually go through it. But I use it as that tool because that's hours I'd be typing up really boring contract stuff when I can type in a very, explicit 10-sentence prompt and it'll give me 20 pages of contract. Now, guess what I get to go do? I get to go write a song while the AI does that boring stuff for me. And that's how I choose to use it. To each their own in every way. as long as it's ethically being trained, the models are being trained. If they're ripping from this catalog, I feel like those estates, those artists should receive some level of royalties back. And they're currently trying to figure that out. So I think, after it gets to that point, I may not be as against it, but as of right now, unless it is for like just demo work and proof of concept, I don't personally agree with AI music.
Now, being in media, I sometimes do use AI occasionally once in a while for editing videos. But when I'm posting content or looking at content, I know within 5 seconds, like you said, if something's legitimate or AI.
Well, and using it as a tool is different.
Yeah.
If you're using it as a tool, I feel like that's completely ethical. It is a tool. Just like I was saying, when your DAWs, we started getting these like samples that producers could then use as a tool to put in because, my piano guy's in Australia on tour for 3 months. I can't get him in. You have a sample pack. So like, same thing here with AI. Like I do get supplementing. I even have some of the producers I've worked with will utilize those samples in the final product. And again, to each their own. I feel like as long as it's being done in an ethical way, artists aren't having their stuff trained and ripped from them without proper credit or royalties being paid back. And this is we could do a whole 2-hour discussion on this and we won't, but we could go down this rabbit hole very much so. I think that for those that are lazy, it limits the creativity. I think for those that just truly don't have the ability, it gives them an outlet. But I still don't think it compares, personally.
Hey, Ariel, I was going to ask your permission because I know how YouTube is and Facebook is. Do I have permission to play one of your songs,
yes,
Pebbles?
Please.
Okay, we're going to play Pebbles, and then we'll ask you about what your inspiration was and the process of writing that song as well. And I've already listened to it a couple of times, so we're going to play that right now. And awesome. And where can people find you on social media and your YouTube channel?
If they just go arieljade.com, everything's on there.
And I've already subscribed, so just bear with me 1 second. I'm the audio guy here, so we'll make sure everybody can hear the audio. So,
and I actually wrote and produced this music video as well, and edited and distributed. All independent.
That is a lot of work. That is a lot of work. So do you ever get any sleep at nighttime?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Occasionally.
All right. Well, we're going to play Pebbles now, and then we'll ask you a little bit about the song after. And I think you got a hit here. So 1 second. This is Pebbles by Ariel Jade, and please check out her YouTube channel and social media. Subscribe as well. So 1 second.
Got a pocket full of pebbles and I'm traveling on, but it don't matter now since you've been gone. The burden's heavier, the days are long, but all these troubles, they make me strong. A pebble for the love we used to share. A pebble for the love that's now not there. All the lessons learned along the way. Traveling on, traveling on. There's a fork in the road, drop the pebble of hate. one step closer to the life I want to make. My burden's light now, but I've made mistakes. But all these troubles are falling away. One pebble for the love we used to share. A pebble for the love that's now not there. All the lessons learned along the way. Traveling on, yeah, traveling on. All the lessons that we've been here for. All the lessons that we don't ignore. Lighten our pockets and set us free to go home to our heavenly family. A pebble for the love we used to share. A pebble for the love that's now not there. All the lessons learned along the way. Traveling on, yeah, traveling on. Traveling on, I'm almost there. I'm almost home.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for letting us play Pebbles. Ariel, you got a hit right there with that song.
Thank you. It's funny. So the guy playing the dobro is named Randy Coors. That's who I produced that song with. So I had and Wood Newton. He's over on the guitar. That's my mentor and co-writer I was telling y'all about. Not on that song. That song I actually wrote when I was 14 years old. Then finally recorded and put it out, and it's gonna even end up on vinyl, which is amazing to me. I'm very excited.
Congratulations. And how long did it take you to film this, the video and the location too? I thought the location was great.
So we were actually out at Wood's house out in outside of Nashville, Tennessee, kind of a little bit more rural. And that's funny. This was a speed project. I set up the locations, the shots that we had to get. My business partner at Studio X TV was my one camera guy. And I brought out part of my band and then some friends that I work with in the industry to help create the band for the video. And I think we were done in like 3 hours. And that's moving a bunch of locations, the mini drum set, all the instruments. I stuck them in the trees at one point. You saw that. So yeah, it was about 3 hours, I think, and we were done recording. Now this took me, I think it took me like 18 hours to edit. It took me a long time to edit because we got 3 shots at each location. And I kind of had to go in. I wanted it. So if you noticed at the beginning, we're all like really spread out. And as the song goes on and as we let go of what holds us back, as we let go of those pebbles, as we release those troubles into the past, we grow closer and closer and closer together. So by the end, we're like a very close unit, jamming out, experiencing life together. Like it's kind of visually to show how you drop those pebbles, you leave behind that baggage, and you can grow closer and closer to the people around you. So
Well,
the visual
I know
representation.
and I can relate to that a little bit too, Ariel. Since I switched careers from my other career in security to my media, my inner circle has shrunk, but I've also surrounded myself with positive people and people that have the same passion for
Yeah.
what I'm doing or from their different careers that come on the show.
And that's the best way to be. When I wrote that song at 14, I went through some difficult stuff younger and was like, well, I can either let this hold me back and hurt me and make me bitter, make me just completely jaded, or I can learn how to forgive myself and forgive others and let things go. And that song has a really fun story. The first stage I performed on in Nashville, Tennessee was the Bluebird Cafe, which I'll say that to anybody around here that knows the Bluebird Cafe being as an iconic of a stage it is. And they're like, how in the world was that the first stage you performed on in Nashville? I'm like, well, I had this other guy that was is a mentor of mine, more in the publishing songwriting side, Carl Jackson. And he was up here for a bluegrass festival. And he took me over. He's like, come on to the Bluebird. I'm playing with all these guys, Wood Newton, Jerry Salley, Larry Cordell, and Carl Jackson is who they were, and just amazing songwriters. And Carl let me play. I actually played Jerry Salley's guitar because I didn't have mine, and I got up and I played my song. And Wood Newton was like, now that's a pretty good song. And I was like, thank you. And he's like, well, do you want to co-write? I had never co-written. And so my parents took me the next day to RCA Victor Studios to co-write my first ever song with Wood Newton, which was on my last album, Once Upon a Tear. It was on the Honky Tonic album. We wrote that when I was 14. That was the first ever co-write I ever did. But this song, Pebbles, was the first one that I performed on stage in Nashville. And it's the song that honestly started it all for me here. Because like I said, that's the one that Wood heard. And he was like, come on in. Oh yeah, it's full circle. Finally coming back into the fold. Because I skipped a couple grades, went to college at 16, got my master's, started teaching at 21. And I was married to a guy that did not like people looking at me on stage and just made it very difficult for me to pursue music. So I quit for 10 years. And I got rid of him back in April of 21, still working on the divorce. There's it's a funny song called What's It Gonna Take to Get a Divorce Around Here? If you hadn't heard that one, that's one of the singles that I released last year. I think actually
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
They told me that title was too long. So if you go look it up, it's just Divorce Around Here. But it's very tongue-in-cheek, classic country. Anyway, going through that, I called Wood. I sent him this really bad demo of Once Upon a Tear. And he was like, come on up to Nashville. We're going to do it right. And he got me in with Mike Loudermilk, and we reproduced our songs. And then we ended up it was like 3 or 4 songs in. And I was like, Wood, do you just want to do my album with me? And he's like, heck yeah. So we co-wrote my entire 10-song debut album, Honky Tonic, together. Wood helped write a couple on this one. This album, I definitely brought in a lot more of my friends. Co-wrote with a lot of different people on this album. I worked with 5 different producers, 3 three different producers in terms of engineering and production. So Mike Loudermilk did songs 1, 2, and 3 on the Roots album. Recorded that at his private studio. And then Eddie Gore recorded songs 4, 5, and 6. We were in the historic Studio C. That's where Willie and Waylon's vocals for Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys was recorded. Dolly Parton is recorded in there. Roy Orbison is recorded in there. It was such a historic and magical place. And then the last 2 were done over at Slacky Studio with Randy Corso. And he's Grammys for Grassroots. So I got to work with an amazing cast of musicians, producers, songwriters. This album is very special, and I'm impressed with everybody that we got to get on this, and the album is still a listening experience top to bottom. It has a very much so kind of, and I knew I was running vinyl with this. It very much so has like an A-side, B-side bonus tracks feel, because you can hear and feel the difference of the 3 songs I produced with Mike, and the 3 songs I produced with Eddie Gore, and the 2 that I did with Randy. Like you can feel the difference, but it's still all cohesive in a way, which I did have Randy Course come in and do some background harmonies on some of the tracks that I recorded with Eddie Gore. And then I had one of my guitarists, Chris Condon, come in and record on 2 of the producers' things. So like there's a lot of crossover and stuff. Now the first 3 tracks on the album are just me and Mike Loudermilk, the whole thing. So I play mandolin, sing vocals, do my harmonies, and then Mike does literally everything else, like drum programming, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass. He put a harmonica on one of them. I didn't even know this man played harmonica, but he does.
Wow.
Mike Loudermilk is phenomenal. So this whole album was so much fun to record and work on with these guys, for sure.
I'm gonna have to try to get Mike on my show one day to talk about the producing side of the music industry.
I can put you in touch with him.
Absolutely.
He's another one of my mentors. He's more of my like guitar producer mentor at this point, but I'm getting to learn from some of the greatest people in this town, in my opinion. So his dad was John D. Loudermilk, who worked with Chet Atkins and tons of songwriting cuts that, I mean, they got huge. So Mike grew up, this is funny actually. Mike grew up with a group called the Almond Joys in his house. That's what they were known as before they became the Allman Brothers. So he grew up with some insanely talented, and not just his dad. Everybody he got to grow up around. I mean, Mike had a Chet Atkins cut at age 14 or 15. Savant. Like, he is insanely good. So, yeah, this was magical to put together with these guys for sure.
What's one word to describe Mike Loudermilk? One word.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal. If I only get one. He's also a goober, and I love him.
And Kirsty Kraus, who's a friend of yours, and she's a friend of mine and been on the show a number of times. Mike's had an impact on her music career as well. So hopefully one day I'll get Mike on, and hopefully Ariel, one day you'll perform in Canada. And I know you sent me an email a couple weeks ago about applying to the CNE, because the CNE is one of the biggest end of summer fairs events here. And last year they have different types of music at the CNE, and hopefully you'll get selected, because it's a big event and there's a lot of people that attend the CNE. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. I actually toured when I was 13 and 14 with another country artist, and we did Johnny and June style covers. And I actually have played in Ontario area before. That was my first country out of the States performance that I did, was in Ontario, Canada. So,
well, hopefully one day
I'm ready to come back. It's been 10 years. I'm like,
yes,
it's been more than 10 years.
Definitely. And hopefully the CNE will get back to you as well. And fingers crossed on that.
Yes. That'll be fun.
And if you got a couple more minutes, I would like to play your other song, Some Bridges Are Worth Burning, from courtesy of your Twitch page. I think it's Twitch. Yes, I'm on Twitch too, but I don't do gaming. I use it for live streaming. So 1 second.
Oh, this is the live version. Okay. It does not sound like it was
Is
produced.
it okay if I
This
play
is
it?
right. You can. It sounds very
Okay.
different. Reworked a lot of it, but yes. Me as Harley
Okay.
Quinn.
Some Bridges Are Worth Burning by Ariel Jade, courtesy of her Twitch TV account. So 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second.
While the angry words are spoken, my give a damn is broken. It's a hard lesson to be learning. Some bridges are worth burning. Some bridges are worth burning. Hey.
That was
Yep.
just a
Oh,
little
right
clip.
after I wrote it. It was.
Thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah, that was look, and I actually love that.
I would have
that's
had
what
the
you
other
to share.
version. Yeah,
Well, I love that because
that
you
was improvised.
that was literally like 2 days after I wrote
ahead.
it. So the fact that y'all got to see that, now when you actually hear the album, you'll be like, oh, the BPM changed, some of the vibe changed a little bit, but like, and that's cool to see where it can start, and then after it's lived with and performed multiple times, how I kind of grow into what the song, what it becomes. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
That was improvised at the last minute because I already had Pebbles planned, and then I checked my Gmail about 5 minutes before we went live, and I saw your email. So I'm like, "Holy cow! Okay, we'll get this song on." And I quickly looked on Twitch TV, and
You did
I saw
great.
the song. So I'm glad it worked out okay then.
And I'll actually be filming an official music video in like a week for that song as well. So I'll
And
send it to you when we're done.
Absolutely. And I have some more of your songs I'd like to listen to. And you know what? Growing up, I was in the classic rock in the 70s and 80s and also Motown music. But now with doing the show for the past 6 years, I've become a fan of country music as well. And even gospel music, because I get to know my guests and hear their music. And music is like therapy. And it really it can affect your life too.
Definitely. Well, you just named a bunch of eras that my influences came from too. 60s, 70s, 80s rock, classic rock. I love it. Motown, blues, southern rock, and then of course the traditional country. So I think you'll very much so enjoy this Americana Roots album because it kind of pulls a little bit from all of the it pulls like this really cool sound from this genre and this really cool sound from this genre and like mixes it all together. So yeah.
The world needs more music in comedy these days. I'll leave it at that.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely.
It's how we get through it. We gotta come together somehow.
And music is not just one local city anymore. It's international with all these platforms.
Oh yeah. Well, and the internet, I mean, literally anyone in the world can listen to what you're putting out, which is wild.
Ariel, I wanted to ask you this too before we wrap the show up in a couple of minutes. Do you find there's still a market for the shrinking CD market? Do you find there's still a demand for CDs?
I truly hope so, because I just ordered a few hundred vinyl and a few hundred CDs. So, actually, okay, I can give you a fun fact. I just saw this. So up in 2026 already, and then projected vinyl sales are up 9%, and CD sales are up 22%, 21%. So yes, and I think that we have AI to thank for that, because you have all of this AI digital world, and people are craving real music, real people making music. And analog, I mean, I guess you could do a bunch of AI music and put it on vinyl, but that's not what's happening. So your safe bet, if you want to really support a musician and listen to real, true, human created blood, sweat, tears, a shard of our soul is in it music, you know that if we spend enough money to run a vinyl or CDs, that you're getting that. So I think it's coming back. And I think that we do have kind of the internet and this rage of
Retro things
AI.
coming back.
Yeah,
Retro.
retro's coming back, which it always does. But
Yes.
I see the now becoming more in front of people being like, how do I actually support this artist? If streaming services don't pay anybody hardly anything, and they don't, how do I actually support this artist that I love? And it's going and buying their physical merch, going and buying a ticket to a show, and then buying a CD or a vinyl at those shows, like even ordering them online if you're in a different country and you can't make it down to Nashville to see me. When these vinyls and CDs drop, going on and ordering that is a huge help. I'm doing a digital release first. So if you guys have iTunes, not Apple Music, okay? If you go to iTunes and search Ariel Jade Roots, you can pre-order my album now, and it'll be out on May 31st. And then I'm hoping to have the physical vinyl and CDs back by the end of July. So hopefully by the end of the summer, I will have a physical release, and we'll kind of tour with that as well. So
I'll have to purchase one of your CDs autographed, and then I'll have to
I can do that.
find a CD player, because my new vehicle, they don't make
Doesn't
CD
have one.
players
Mine
in
doesn't
cars
either.
anymore,
No.
and I kind of miss that because I still have some CDs at home. So I'm
I
not
still
throwing
have a
them out.
binder of CDs. Did
Binders,
you ever do
yes.
that? You know, where you
I
get
have
rid of the
about
dual
30.
case.
I have about 30 of them, and I still even have
There you
cassettes. I still have some cassettes from the 80s that are
I
still
love
good.
that. I love that. Those are even harder to keep together because
Yes.
if you unravel the tape, it's
Yep.
done.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would love to get a copy, a signed autographed copy of your CD,
I
and
can make that
eventually.
happen.
Hey, I gotta ask you this. I'm gonna wrap this up in 2 minutes. Vinyl records. Do you find the sound quality is so much better on vinyl records than on live streaming platforms now?
Okay, that's an unfair question, I feel, because it's not. You can have HD quality. So on the basis of the actual like audio bit rate that you're getting, if you are mastering and like Apple HD masters, that is the highest quality you can get. I had to do a different master for vinyl. So it's a vinyl master. And then I had to do a different master for CD. It's called a DDP master. And basically every time that happens, the audio quality, because they have to, so this is something, just fun fact. When you master for vinyl, a lot of it is the volume and stuff too, because the needle, if it's too hot, if it's too loud, the needle will bounce and skip. So that quality becomes bad. So I think it's really difficult to have pristine quality. That's why you have a mastering engineer do this, who knows how to master for CDs and for vinyl, specifically vinyl because of the needle. But I personally prefer the audio quality of a vinyl. If it was mastered correctly and it's not, it's not bumping and jumping and skipping, I like that just raw recording sound.
Yeah.
Like I love vinyl. I have in my film studio at RCA Victor, I have a record player, and that's what we play in there. I do not digitally stream music in there. I have a collection of records, and every time a friend releases a vinyl, I go buy it and I stick it on my shelf and display them. And
Hey, Errol, definitely going to have you come back on again, maybe with Mike and Kirsty, and also be able to talk to you a little bit more. I do have a volunteer commitment this afternoon at 2:00. I walk dogs twice a week at a local humane society.
Aww,
so, but I definitely would like to have you come back on again. And where can our audience follow you on social media, your website, and the best way of listening to your music?
If you go to arieljade.com, it's got everything. Ariel Jade Music, Ariel Jade Live on the socials. The Ariel Jade Live includes my twitching and all of the random film stuff I do. And If you only want music, at Ariel Jade Music. But again, arieljade.com has everything. And if you guys want to go snag a digital copy now, we are really pushing for iTunes charts. So every copy sold helps. You do have to be on Apple products, but if you have an Apple product and you have friends on Apple products, go share the Roots album to them. Y'all be part of my story as we push for the country music charts on iTunes.
And merchandise too. You have merchandise available, right?
Coming soon. By the time the album releases, y'all will have some physical merch to go along with it.
And as we wrap up the show, what was it like going to your first NHL game and performing at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville as we wrap this up?
That was amazing. That was amazing. They did a pregame show and they had a music row stage in the concourse, and then on the other end they had a DJ booth. So I was like super excited to come in and play acoustic original music for everyone. And that was my first ever hockey game to attend. And I hate to say it. I actually don't hate to say it. I kind of like to say it. I think I'm a hockey fan now. I'm gonna have to go back.
And I was wrong when hockey first came to Nashville, I think almost 30 years ago. I'm like, this isn't going to work. And you know what?
It's huge.
It's done really well. And Nashville, Tennessee really supports the Predators. And hopefully they'll have a better year next year. But I'm glad you had a great experience
going
to and hopefully you'll go to more games and hopefully they'll have you back again performing more.
I will. And if I end up in Canada to perform some, I think I may have to get some hockey suggestions and go see some hockey while I'm in Canada too.
We'll have to get you a hockey jersey too.
Yes.
Yes. And hopefully the Canadian National Exhibition will get back to you. And hopefully we'll see you in Toronto at the end of August, perhaps.
That will be amazing. We'll see what happens.
Ariel, thank you so much for coming on here today. And
thanks for having me.
Definitely would love to have you back on again, and Mike as well as Kirsty, and continued success. And I will continue to listen to more of your music, and you have me as a fan.
Thank you, Chris. I had a lot of fun chatting with you, just like last time, and I will definitely be back. You just let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Give me a little bit of time tonight, and I will send you the full video, the audio, and some reels and clips, and I will tag you in on social media too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Ariel. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. That wraps up season 13, episode 42, overall 702 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, or give them a call at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you. And again, I want to say thank you to my guest today, Ariel Jade, a Nashville country music recording artist, and her new album, Roots, the Americana album, will be out on May 31st. Please check out her website, arieljade.com, as well for more information about her and her live upcoming shows as well. So thank you to Ariel Jade for coming on our show today. And thank you to the audience watching this on live stream, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and also thank you to my audience on my audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. So I hope everybody has a great afternoon, and we will see you back here on Saturday, May 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern with my special guest, Shira Bellin. She is a Winnipeg-based entrepreneur, a content creator, and she's the owner of her own cannabis store called Character Co. And she's also a food content creator in the city of Winnipeg, Manitoba as well. So Shira Bellin will be on tomorrow, Saturday, May 2nd at 5 o'clock. So I hope you guys can tune in for that. And I have more guests and great shows next week as well. Anyways, guys, I'm off to walk dogs at the Cambridge District Humane Society in Cambridge, Ontario. And also please consider helping out. They had a cat the other day that was left in a usable bag, a bag, and thankfully one of the animal officers saved the cat's life. And the cat's name is McNally. And if you want to donate to his surgery, CanadaHelps.org, or purchase 50/50 tickets to support animals like McNally, and through the rafflebox.ca at the Cambridge District Humane Society. Please keep McNally the cat in your thoughts. He deserves so much better, and the people at the Cambridge District Humane Society do a wonderful job, and prayers that McNally will be okay. And if you want to help again, go to CanadaHelps.org if you'd like to donate as well. Anyways, guys, I'm wrapping up this show. Thanks so much for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by yours truly, Chris Palme, and brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. And again, thank you to you, the audience, for watching and listening to the show, and to Ariel Jade, Nashville country music recording artist and songwriter as well. And please, again, check out her album on May 31st called Roots, the Americana theme as well. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show.